Pushkin.
Amanda Shires is a Texas-born singer-songwriter who got her start at age 15 when she joined the legendary Bob Wills group, the Texas Playboys, on fiddle. After starting her solo career in 2005, Shires continued to play with a number of other groups, including the 400 Unit, which is fronted by her husband, Jason Isbell. In 2019, she started the all-female country supergroup, the Highwomen, which includes Brandi Carlile, Natalie Hemby, and Maren Morris. After the 2022 release of Amanda Shires' seventh solo album, Take It Like a Man, she released an album of covers with the late and reclusive Bobbie Nelson, who's primarily known for playing piano in her younger brother Willie Nelson's family band for decades. Amanda initially enlisted Bobbie to play on her version of Willie's classic, You Are Always on My Mind, but they continued to record together. The resulting collection of songs became the album Loving You, which was released this past June, nearly a year after Bobbie's death. On today's episode, I talked to Amanda Shires about Bobbie Nelson's unfortunate start in the music business. Amanda also talks about why she feels more comfortable singing about society's big issues alongside her group, the Highwomen. And she remembers the time she went to Vegas and gambled away all of her band's tour money, only to win it all back after playing craps through the night. This is Broken Record, liner notes for the digital age. I'm Justin Richmond. Here's my interview with Amanda Shires. Man, great to talk to you.
Oh, great to talk to you.
There's a lot to talk about, but I feel like I want to start with your record with Bobbie. That's a pretty special thing.
I really liked that record. We had a great time recording it, and it was nice to return to the songs that I played growing up.
I guess for people who don't know, Bobbie Nelson is Willie Nelson's sister and longtime piano player with Willie, although she played even before she joined Willie in like the early 70s, I guess, the family band. But she was a pretty quiet person, as I'm led to believe, and she didn't seem to collaborate with a ton of people. I'm curious how you were able to get a record going with her.
Well, I'd seen her play, growing up all the time with Willie, but I think she started out when she was playing music, playing revival tents at churches and all that, and then started playing with Willie and one of her exes in a band that sold alcohol and quickly got her kids taken away from her. So that put a stop to all of that. And in the time when she, was coming up and growing up, she was powerless is what she was, and had to figure out a new way to keep music in her life and get her kids back and eventually rejoin Willie. But I guess our collaboration started because I was considering putting You Were Always on My Mind on my record, Take It Like a Man. And I went down there and we recorded it, and then she decided and I agreed that we were going to make a record together.
So you wanted her to be on that song for your Take It Like a Man record?
Oh, right. Yes. I played it in the studio with my piano player, Peter, and it was beautiful. But I just had a feeling that the way to do it right and to do it any justice at all would be to have Bobbie on it. And I called and she said yes, and I sent her a bunch of orchids. And when we got to the studio, we recorded it and just started talking about songs and life. And we decided that I was going to come back and we were going to make a record. And this first song we would do would be Summertime.
What's it like hanging out with Bobbie?
Inspiring in the way that she had knowledge of every song ever. You could not stump her. And then just the way she carried herself with love and forgiveness, the way that she just was able to forgive and lead with love. And then also at the same time, she was very centering. She was very sure of herself with the piano, and also very much about the point of music being to be connection with people or with whatever God you believe in, and with the heart and with your friends. She was really, really awesome.
I don't have any tattoos, but I often feel like if I had tattoos, I would have a Ray Charles and a Willie Nelson tattoo, because I feel like that kind of encompasses all of, American music and all the music I enjoy.
Ray Charles's country record I still stand by it, the best country record ever recorded.
You say it's the best country record?
Yeah, ever recorded. Modern songs and country music. That, and along with the time that it came out. And just, there's a lot that goes with that record.
Yeah. Wow, that's surprising to hear you say it's the best in your view.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely.
What makes it so good to you, like as a country record?
He can play the shit out of it, and it's inspired, and even the sequencing is great. The players are great. It's inspiring too, the story of it, him getting his rights to his music and all that kind of stuff at that time. I don't know, it's just fearless to me. Fearless, I mean, we will all have fears, so to me it feels fearless in the way that it was made. And then there's some incredible solos and fills and stuff that are just like, wow, how did you come up with that?
Yeah. God damn, he's a great player.
Knows country music. It's so good. Like, how could you not? That record's the best country record. I don't care.
Wow.
Stand by it.
I gotta revisit it. I haven't listened to it in a long time.
Yeah.
Damn.
And to do that and be black, can you believe it?
Yeah.
Like during the 60s, and I don't know, just everything about it is like there's a hero right there.
Yeah, I understand. My first concert was a knockoff, like Boys to Men kind of group, but
Was it New Edition?
It wasn't New Edition. No, New Edition was dope.
Okay.
It was...
my first was Blackstreet New Edition.
Yep, that's a great show.
Yeah, it was awesome.
You remember All for One? They had that song, I Swear?
Yes, I do.
That was my first concert. But my second was a Garth Brooks concert. So...
Oh, wow.
Being black in a country environment, it resonates.
Yeah.
I get it.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
I get it. But that was pretty mind-altering, I'll say. But... like, to my point, like Ray Charles, Willie Nelson, like great players. But, when you really dig into Willie's music, like it's not just Willie, although it's Willie. There's much that he brings to the table, but it really, by the time it really, in my view, kind of finds his stride in terms of recordings and all of that, it's with Bobbie and the band. She really has a beautiful way of accompanying Willie. Was it difficult to get her to consider kind of slapping her name on a record? Like it's not like as if she's accompanying you on this. It's like you and her together releasing something.
Yeah. No, that was really easy, and it came along organically, like just sitting around playing together. I think too, we'd played together some in the past. I was introduced to her first by Mickey Raphael, the harmonica player. And at that point, they had me on stage to join them in the band at a show, and they were going to have me up for one, and they wound up keeping me up for, like, I don't know, a whole lot of songs. And then I'd always go sit in with them. But after that show, we started talking about how much we liked each other's choice of clothing that night, and then the solos. And, we kept on talking to each other when we'd see each other. And then when I saw her, she said, we're gonna go on tour so we could go shopping and play music. And I said, yeah, we are, but we're gonna need a record. She said, we're gonna need a band. And I said, we could just be the two of us. And so our plan was to go around and spend a few days in a town, play a show, and buy some killer shoes.
What year was this?
That we recorded?
No. That you guys had that conversation about.
The stuff with the clothes and stuff, that happened a long time ago, but the part where we actually were going to make a record, that happened after we recorded, always on my mind.
Wow. Do you remember what you guys were wearing when you first met? That you guys
Black,
were so drawn?
head to toe black. And I think, she wasn't a person that drew a lot of attention to herself, but I think that was, she started playing so young, and then she got her kids taken away so young. And then when that happened, she went to school, got a degree, started working, then was demoing pianos and working to get her kids back in a time when you really couldn't do it solo. And then she did it, and then that's why she rejoined after, Willie, after they were good and grown and everything.
Yeah. She's such an incredible character, man, in person.
Like, I can't imagine, like, if that had happened to me and then I got my kids back, sure shit, I'll sit in the back. I don't want anybody to notice, but I'm going to play.
Right, because she got her kids taken away because she was playing in environments that was apparently
sold
unsuitable,
alcohol.
Right? For
and they called her all kinds of names, like a whore, and her reputation was solely just for, like, she wouldn't even drink at the places, and she, the churches would barely have her back.
Damn.
Yeah. And she was raised by her grandparents, or her and Willie were, and when her granddad passed away, they threatened to take the kids away from the grandmother, saying that they didn't think she could provide and didn't even give them a chance, but she managed to keep them. But yeah, I just can't imagine.
So that's sort of the mythology around her, is that she was just kind of to herself, like in terms of she didn't really wouldn't do interviews, didn't want to.
I don't blame her. I mean, you don't want, stay out of trouble.
Yeah. That's a fascinating, but also kind of a sad story,
Yeah, yeah.
I hadn't considered
But
that.
like I said, she led with forgiveness. And I was like, how do you get through all this trauma and then, get your kids back and they're grown and healthy and everything, and then suddenly two of them, not suddenly, but then two of them die within 6 months of each other, and then the world is a vampire. And she said the easiest thing to do, which is sometimes hard, is to forgive.
I don't know where she gets that grace, but the Nelson family in general seems to have that level of grace and ease about life.
I mean, they are fashion forward with a lot, not fashion forward, but, with weed and all kinds of things,
Yeah, I mean, they were ahead of the times, spiritually and culturally. You came up in the same town as them, right?
No, the same state.
Same state?
It sounds a lot alike. They grew up in Abbott, which is more hill country-esque, I guess.
Got it.
But
Lubbock, isn't that where Willie's place is now?
No, there's a place in Lukenbach and one in the Flores Country Store. I guess it's Pedernales area. Yeah, but Lukenbach is a different place than Lubbock. I think they're probably 6 hours apart. But yeah,
I'm messing up my Texas geography.
It's okay. It's a big state. It really should be 4. But no, I grew up playing Texas Playboys music when I wasn't, I thought when I first heard West Side Connection, they were playing fiddles, but it turns out it was a synthesizer. So part of my life was a hoax.
Wait, hold
trying to learn.
Was that so were you a West Side Connection fan? Were you listening to rap?
I listened to all of it. Yeah, I have clippings from when Tupac died out of the Lubbock newspaper. I watched MTV Jams Countdown every day. I wrote fan letters to Tyrese. I have response letters. But
From Tyrese?
I have, yeah. Yeah, it was like Y2K in the neighborhood, like 1999, and he signed stuff about Y2K and all this. But no, I listened to all the music and I learned all the music, and everything from Gang Starr to Woody Guthrie.
Wow. Pac's one of my favorite. I don't know.
Did you see how they arrested somebody in Vegas in connection with the?
Yeah,
oh my God!
Yeah. I'm too deep into that rabbit hole. So
yeah. We need to find some shit out.
Yeah, no, I think it seems like they're close to figuring that out finally, which is a beautiful thing, because that was one of the most crushing things.
Part of me still hoped he was like living in an island somewhere.
I always had that hope as well. He was so larger than life, It really, and unbelievable. At 26, he spent a year in prison, so in 25 years. Put out 6 albums, plus all the other stuff that was recorded, plus like 5 movies, plus just all the stuff.
Yeah.
It's just insane work ethic. What? So I'm imagining you're joking though that you thought it was fiddle on West Side Connection.
No, on that song "Bow Down," that part goes. Beow, 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 beow. I was very young. How was I supposed to know about synthesizers?
You thought the bow down sound? You thought that was?
Yeah, I did, and I learned it. I was like, I had this dream. I was gonna join. My dream one day was to play a violin with Method Man, and while I did get to meet him in the Wu-Tang, I didn't ever get to play with him. But he did let me dance on stage.
Did you tell him that story?
I did it. I got. I'm usually good at oversharing, but that time I was like, "Good job, Shires." Didn't overshare.
Is that really? Do you really talk to yourself that way? Like,
so when I do a good job, we all talk to ourselves in our brains, and most of it's a beat down. But that time I was like, "Good job, not oversharing."
I feel like, I don't know. I definitely talk to myself. I'm definitely a self-talker to psych myself up. But I just assumed from your music that you were pretty sure of your movements through the world.
Oh, no. God, no. No.
Where does the confidence in your music come from?
Oh, that's only happened of late. And that's because I feel like, for me, I've always felt like I've had to have some sort of like certificate or something to say that I'm allowed to do the things that I do. Or call myself a thing. Like, I didn't really feel like I was much of a writer at all until I got my degree at Sewanee. Although I was writing, and I mean, not the worst at it, but I don't know. I guess maybe we all have imposter syndrome. I don't know. That everybody seems to say they have it. I know I do.
I definitely have it, but I'm also like, I'm not. There's so much opportunity as a musician for failure and embarrassment and so many opportunities to be exposed as a fraud, as it were, But it's like that's a pretty wild decision you've made to, I mean, I don't know, how do you handle that? Because it's like to have I hide from most opportunities for embarrassment and failure, and I'm able to do that in my chosen, path,
right.
More or less.
I mean, I know I can play and I know I can write, but I don't know why it exists. I mean, I don't know why it exists. I guess because some things are just, maybe to me, it feels like the purpose of life, I guess, is growing and learning. It feels like you can't master anything in the world. So how can you be a thing if you can't master a thing? Like, we'll never truly master a violin. We'll never truly master the words on the page. I mean, they're always moving and living and shifting. And I mean, actually, now that we're talking about it, I'm going to think about it more, because it doesn't really make you an imposter so much as it makes you, like you said, afraid to fail. But I guess that's a beautiful thing.
To your point of like, words are, you can never master a language, because language is a living, breathing thing that's always changing, evolving, adapting.
Nobody will give a shit if you do it in Latin.
Right.
The two Latin scholars alive might.
But it's like music's the same. I mean, like, like fiddle, violin, music, and the instrument's the same. It's like you're always in conversation with the current sort of time and place, and leaving it up to the next sort of group of people to move it forward or backwards or just laterally or wherever, in some sort of way. It's like music for sure is always evolving and changing, and that's what keeps it hopefully interesting for years to come.
It does. And then you learn a lot about how it changes depending on the folks you get in the room to play with you, and that can be really fun.
We're going to pause for a quick break and then come back with more from my interview with Amanda Shires. We're back with more from Amanda Shires. Who are some of your favorite people to play with?
I really liked playing with Bobbie, but my favorite people to play with, I love playing with my piano player, Peter Levin. He's great. I met him in the Greg Allman Band when I was opening for them.
Damn.
And he's fantastic. And I love playing with all the 400 unit members. They're fantastic.
Jason's band.
Jason's band. They're good guys, too. I recently played with the Asleep at the Wheel band, Ray Benson and them. They were fantastic. I mean, it's rare to get on stage and play with anybody that's no good or no fun, because I don't really operate in that world much, that no fun world.
Are there some times you have?
Oh, yeah. Sometimes you get into situations with in studios, like when I first moved to town, where I worked with some people that I, like now in hindsight, know that the reason that wasn't fun was because of the people in the room. And then you get some folks that operate in the top 40 world that have very interesting facial hair and haircuts, and you're like, they're like little Napoleons running around everywhere. And that's not the whole top 40. I'm not trying to talk shit on all of them, but there's some serious ass kissers out there. And then you try to tell them something, they're like, no, but X, Y, and Z said this, and I'm like, well, you were so boring.
X, Y, and Z meaning like some industry person, or right. Damn. Do you feel like a commercial artist, like an artist who's operating, or do you feel?
I feel like an artist, but I know I'm not in what they call the top 40 country genre, and that suits me just fine. I don't mind wherever they put me, because I'm not really looking to get into wars with folks that are ding-dongs releasing songs like that crap-ass Jason Aldean song. I mean, I don't need to get in that argument every day. That's a piece of shit.
So, I mean, you don't at all feel kinship with contemporary popular country?
I do with some of them, but there's just not enough room. And so if there's not enough room, I don't want to be in your club anyway. If you don't let me in the club, I don't want to be in your club.
Do you really feel like they won't let you in the club?
Oh, hell no. You have to be like poised and say the right things, and you have to, believe in wrapping yourself in the American flag. I mean, my cousin did 6 tours and killed himself. I'm not wrapping myself in the American flag. And among other things, I have no bodily autonomy, and I will talk about it. They won't let you in that club if you're going to talk about it.
Wow. How do you square that with, working in the country idiom, so to speak? You know what I mean? Like, because the country feels more popular than it's ever been. It's funny. I live in Long Beach, California, and I was walking on the beach the other day, and I saw...
Do you ever run into Giveon?
No, I don't.
Because I heard he lives there.
He lives in Long Beach?
Yeah.
Really? Wow. Okay.
That's what I heard.
Okay.
I really like that. I like the previous record a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, I love Giveon. Great voice. I miss baritones.
Yeah, tell him I need if he needs a violinist or a fiddleist.
I will. Okay.
Okay.
But I see teenagers Long Beach. In my history here, there's never been a ton of people that have when you just out in the world, like on the beach, particularly listening. But it's like everywhere I go now, it's country music. And
right.
It feels like a boom time for the genre,
In some ways, I think there is that, just because there's luckily that the time we're in, we can find music other ways than what we used to be limited to with just the regular old radio. Like now we've got the internet, and hopefully the algorithms don't kill everyone. But they say people over 35 don't listen to new music. I was reading that recently too. But we've got ways that we find music, and we got
people younger than 35, by the way, rarely listen to new music too. Like it doesn't seem that way.
Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, but it's cool because you can find music now on the many shows you have at your streaming platforms and your TV shows and all that stuff.
Yeah,
that's cool.
It's a lot of
find more music that way.
I watched your video for Bad Behavior, and a lot of people commenting they discovered that song in the grocery store.
Nice. Yeah, the politics of sex at the grocery store. That sounds nice. I like that. I mean, my daughter discovered Christopher Cross at the grocery store.
Really?
Yeah.
Sailing?
Ride Like the Wind.
Oh, Ride Like the Wind. Yeah.
Or whatever it is. Yeah, she's like, I need that on my playlist. It's like that and Bad Bunny. It's awesome.
How did Christopher Cross get in the mix? That's incredible. What in the world?
The grocery store.
Damn. That song, by the way, Bad Woman, that's an incredible... Bad Woman, that's an incredible song.
Oh, thank you.
That's a gangster song.
I mean, let's go.
Oh, when did you write that song?
I think I wrote that one on the fly, kind of like in a 10-day haze of writing. Like, I like to write a record, and then 10 days before, so I get into a frenzy of wondering if I have the whole collection, and then I'll do one song a day, and then once I'm in the studio, I'll sometimes even write too. But my friend Lawrence Rothman, who produced my record,
did a great job producing it, by the way. I love the sound.
Man, they're so awesome. And then when I say something in the studio and nobody hears, they have a very low voice. So they'll say, "She said, could you do this?" This is my bad impersonation. And everybody's like, "Oh shit, yeah." It's like, it sounds like the voice of God. Their voice is so low, but they're such a tiny, they don't weigh a lot. It's just interesting juxtaposition.
But so you kind of got in like a 10-day writing haze, and you're always concerned you don't have the right material.
Yeah, always. And then they sent me this folder of what we call randoms. We call them randoms now. That's just basically tracks they've made up where it could be drums, and sometimes it'll be piano, sometimes it'll be beats, sometimes it'll be different stuff, and I just would go through and listen to them, and I found that one, and I really liked it, and moved a few measures out and in, and then had a track, and I wrote to it, which was the first time I ever tried doing that, which was pretty fun, actually.
So you wrote to the track?
Yeah. I'd never done that, and they were scared to send me a folder of tracks. I was like, well, I'll try anything 7 or 8 times. And so I wrote to that.
7 or 8 times. That's a hell of a lot of times to try anything. Once.
Because you think you'll learn your lesson, but you usually takes more than one time. Yeah, but it's like, when you try something, and then, like, even if you did try something out, or, I don't know, how many times have I told myself I was never going to drink whiskey and did it?
Shit.
I keep doing it, and then I did it again. And it's like, okay, I guess it's time number 8.
That's hilarious. I'm going to steal that 7 or 8 times.
Yeah.
What about the track, like, appealed to you? Did it immediately resonate with you, or did you sort of just take it as a challenge, like, oh, let me just see if I can write to this? Or
Well, it was a folder of them, so I switched through them,
right.
and it was I actually wrote a verse that I wanted Giveon to sing on, but he never responds to my emails because I wanted to do a remix. But it's like, come on, man. Surely you can handle getting an email from me. Surely you've got 3 seconds. I already wrote it. Just go sing it. Quit being like that.
that would be an incredible song for him to feature on. There is a really,
so,
like,
too.
there is a, I guess it's, I don't know, soulful R&B. There's like a vein in there through the whole record of like, just, it's super soulful. The whole record is incredibly soulful.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. And really,
I'm proud of it.
yeah. And it's really, like I said, like sometimes when I've listened to it, it's like, in its way, it has what resonates with me when I listen to Pac, which it kind of has this attitude, it has like a real strong, like, I don't give a fuck. Yeah. Has that always been a part of you said that's sort of new to your music, but has it always been that sort of self-assurance and confidence that you said is sort of
No, I used to care more. I used to care a lot more. And then I realized, I'm not trying to sound jaded or anything, but I realized how much people don't actually give a shit in return. So the reciprocation is a factor in my fuck giving, definitely. And also when it comes to your art, and having had a couple of near-death experiences, I give less fucks now than I ever did. I'm like, I'm making my art, and it's going to be my way, or you can go ahead and leave because I'm paying for the studio time.
You had a couple of near-death experiences artistically or in life?
In life, I had I didn't rupture it, by an ectopic pregnancy that ruptured,
right.
and then I was internally bleeding, all that, and then
Scary.
My life was spared for some reason, and it must be to keep it on, and to all that. But anyway, then, what me and my mom called the silly ways to die, like riding the horse around the swimming pool or something. She has a horse.
So does my mom.
Really? Awesome.
Yeah. I gave up riding. That shit was terrible.
Yeah.
I got bucked off and ran over once, and that was it, man.
I got bucked off too, but it was because I was trying to do Jesse James stuff. Like, this was like just 2 years ago. I was like, I'm going to pick up my friend and sling her on the back, and the horse was like, no, the fuck you're not. And it bucked us both off. It was incredible. The insides of my thighs looked like I had just like took a beating with I don't know, a bunch of lipstick.
When you hit the ground from the top of a horse, man, it's just, I don't even know. I'd rather be punched 7 to 8 times.
Yeah. You feel it everywhere. It's like there's nowhere for the shock to absorb except your own bones.
No, it's the gnarliest. Yeah. It's the gnarliest thing I think I've ever experienced.
Yeah.
It feels like this is sort of a new addition to your character, personality, and music. It feels like there's like this inverse relationship between levels of fuck given and your sort of your popularity. Seems to does that feel true?
I don't know if I'm what qualifies as popular?
Well, it definitely, it feels like you've had a really great 3, 4, 5 years.
Yeah.
No?
I mean, I don't know. I live in the country, so I can't tell if I'm popular or not. And I recently deleted Twitter and don't do anything on Instagram.
But you're playing bigger shows, aren't you? I mean, it feels like people know you and love you these days, no?
Right. I think I might be playing bigger shows. I think so. I haven't really thought about it because it was my first foray out after COVID. So I had a little bit of shows to make up there at the beginning of this record cycle from COVID. So I guess so.
Feels like that. I hear Howard Stern name check you, I hear
Howard Stern.
Yeah, all this different people, I feel like your music is getting better and better and better. It seems artists in the world, it feels like there's sometimes an energy around them that you can feel from afar as a fan, as a listener, and it certainly feels that way about you. So it seems ironic to me that the less you care to care, the more that people seem to care.
Oh, right. Well, I care about the people that come to the show, and I care about the people that are actually, supporting the music and believe the same things I believe. I care about that a lot. That's the part where the reciprocation feels good. It's other areas of music that I just don't need to concern myself with, because I'm just going to keep on making music that helps me understand the world better. And if it makes me some new friends and fans because it helped them, then I feel like we're doing something right.
Yeah. Yeah. We have to take another quick break, and then we'll be back with more from my conversation with Amanda Shires. We're back with the rest of my conversation with Amanda Shires. Are you writing new stuff now?
Yes. I've got one that I'm really proud of. And I have a second one that's just kind of funny. I've been writing a bunch, but there's 2 or 3 that I'm really excited about.
What's the one that you're really proud of?
The one that I'm really proud of is Living Is What I Call It, but it's super sad. And then I have this other one about Las Vegas, and then another one that's called The Talking Shires Blues. That's it's like 9 minutes long.
Wow.
I'd like to get it to 33 minutes or 35 so it could be a whole record, just one song.
3 weeks ago, I had my very first Vegas experience. So
how was it?
I got there and I was like, damn, I think I might move here.
It's so fun.
It was warm.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden I was like, wait, you can drink outside anywhere you want. Like,
Yeah.
I thought we were kind of sneaking around with the, you can drink outside. There's all kinds of crazy, there is no sense of shame out there is what I will say.
No.
And so I
It's
loved
amazing.
it, but I beat myself
There's
up.
all this facade that's beautiful, and there's all this fun that you can have. There's definitely some dark shit. It is fun. Every part of your brain gets some kind of action.
It's crazy. It's out of control, but it's also like, I don't know if I trust myself back there again. Do you play when you go out there?
Yeah.
Do you win or do you lose?
Yeah, I win.
I
win. I'm not that great at blackjack, but I win at craps.
Like, you win big, or you just like are you putting down?
I win big.
You're a high roller?
I accumulate it as I go and kind of progressively get more and more,
What's the most you've lost gambling?
Well, I did take my tour float. Sorry, whoever's listening that works for me. And I went and lost it all at blackjack, and I took a bunch of money and won it all back. I took it out of my ATM so I could win it. I was late for bus call. It took me, I don't know, like 6 hours to get it all back, but I had to go get it all back on the craps table. But the dealer at Caesar's Palace remembers that day when I won all that money back. It was close to $4,000. But I won it all back plus like $12.
Wait.
So I felt good about myself.
Hold on, rewind the story back. Hold on, rewind the story back. So you took your tour floats, you said?
The tour float, the tour cash.
Tour cash, the
and
cash
the merch money.
for you guys to be on tour, to live and move around and do your thing. You took that cash and you took it
to play blackjack and
which
roulette
you suck
and stuff.
At, we established.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. And you lost it. You lost 4,000?
Yes, but I didn't lose it because I went to the ATM and got $500 back, and then spent the next rest of the night at the craps table getting it back. Yeah. It was a thing I'm never going to do again, because it took a lot of work for $12 in the positive that I left with. That was like a whole day's work for $12.
That's great.
But I was like, well, I lost that at blackjack. Well, maybe if I just try hard, I could. That's the number one thing you should never do, is just think that you could win it back. You should never think that. Go in there planning to lose what you want to lose, and that's all. Don't take the tour money.
And the dealer still remembers.
Oh, he still remembers. Yeah.
You've seen him since.
Yeah, they've all been working there 35, 40 years, and they remember that. And then one night I got kicked out of the Bellagio because they thought what I was wearing was not a shirt. And I was like, firstly, your suit and your tie don't match. Nextly, this is sold as a shirt. It looks like a bralette, yes, but it's a shirt. And I was wearing a sheer top over it. So I got kicked out of the Bellagio. Then I threw a fit about how they were, dress codes, what they are is that they're just not fair. They're meant to be a way out, to kick people out of things. Anyway, so I went to Caesar's Palace. where I made my friends. And that night, I won $2,000, and they were the same dealers.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's the most I've ever won. 2,000, or maybe it was 3,000, because I had to win my keyboard player's $1,000 back for him. Because he lost his, and I was like, don't. Yeah.
I got to hear this Vegas song. It sounds like this is your place.
I mean, I like the craps tables. Yeah.
I think that's going to be my place from now on.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I didn't know I was a Vegas
And they have
person.
great shows. Did you go to any shows?
Yeah, I saw. Well, the whole reason we went out there is was to go see Usher. So.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Did you see his documentary tour movie?
No, I didn't know he had a documentary on his tour.
Or it's like not this tour. It was like one of his older ones where he does like, I have a DVD collection of concert DVDs. Like Usher's one of them. And it like his dance moves, and like he does his dancing, and then the shows, and then does some behind the scenes stuff. Like he was late to a show one time because he wanted to spend 8 hours at the mall. He loves the mall. I like knowing little details about things and people, you know.
Yeah, you knowing these details about people's lives.
Yeah. I'm a music fan.
He likes to spend time at the mall. I didn't know that about Usher.
Yeah, he likes the mall.
What else is in your DVD collection, your music DVD collection that you value?
Destiny's Child at the Fox Atlanta.
Wow, that's probably a great one.
That's really, really, really good. And it's then I have her other one where she has the all the ladies playing all the instruments. You know, she was very, thinking of things way before I even had thoughts of things. But that one in Atlanta, that concert is so good. Yeah, I've watched that one a whole lot. Probably too much. I'm glad it still works. I also like comedy. Do you know that Seth Galifianakis live at the Purple Onion?
I think I've heard of that, but I don't think I've seen it.
It's really funny.
Yeah? It's not that big. It's like a small place, right?
Yeah, the Purple Onion. And then he's got a piano that he plays. It's really funny. I really like that.
Yeah, people have told me about that. I need to see that. Mm-hmm. He's a character, that guy. I see him around Venice sometimes, and he's...
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Just cruising.
I would like to run into him in Venice.
Yeah, it's a good place to run into.
Yeah.
It's about where I'd imagine running into him. What do you spend most of your time listening to? Do you listen to music a lot? Other people?
Oh, yeah. Like, not when I'm writing, but I listen to music a whole lot. I mean, I'm still stuck on the SZA record. I got that. It finally came in the mail vinyl. And the 76 songs that Tom Petty and them released from Live at the Fillmore Auditorium.
Oh, my God, yeah. It's like an admission. Like, SZA hasn't quite, it's been years now. I mean, I don't know, maybe this will never happen, but SZA hasn't quite hit for me yet.
Okay, so there's this song. Let me get my record right quick so I can tell you.
Yeah.
This is really good. Ray Charles at Newport.
That's the record. I love that record.
Playing with the horn. That one's so good.
That's the record.
That's a rare one.
I don't have that on vinyl or nothing, but I listen to that all the time. That's great.
You gotta find. It's hard to find, but you could. The one that she has is if you need to start first. This is awesome record cover, SZA, and there's on side 3 it says "Nobody Gets Me." That's good, and then the other songs are really good. She's a fantastic writer.
My friend helped write a lot of that record too.
Tell your friend I'm interested in writing with that friend.
Are you?
Yeah, why not? I'm interested as hell. These songs are fantastic.
I'll text him as soon as we wrap it.
Yeah, text him. But that song "Nobody Gets Me," I think that's a good place to start because it's soulful. They don't usually lead with the soulful tracks when they're releasing a record. They tend to put the other types out there first.
Well, that's why that's why to bring it back, because I'm a master at what I do. I'm just joking. That's why I like Take It Like a Man, because it leads. I mean, Hawk for the Dove. It leads off. It was just soulful the whole way through, man. And it ends. The last track, My Own Galaxy, is also an incredible song. And I love it. Also soulful in its way, but then it ends like it's like a heater. That guitar solo into your violin, into your fiddle, I don't know what you want to call it.
Either way, it's a violin when you're selling it and a fiddle when you're buying it.
Okay, there we go. To your violin fiddle. It's incredible. And then if you listen to that motherfucker, because I'm lame, my turntable's broken, so I just do almost all my listening on streaming now. But if you listen to it with like the record repeating, and you do the transition from the End of My Own Galaxy back into Hawk for the Dove that's a great
Somebody's
transition.
doing it right.
Yeah.
I always wonder if somebody's doing it right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Are you going to continue working with Lawrence on that?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we still have much to see about in the musical world. You know, I think we work well together and all that. But yeah, if they want to, I bet. Why wouldn't they want to?
Yeah. I mean, you guys seem to do great work. The Christmas record is great too.
What else are you do? Yeah. What else are they gonna do?
Yeah.
They better. Yeah.
Are you also have the Highwomen going still? Does that still feel fun? And
Oh, that one's real fun. It kind of, during COVID, we of course couldn't play and our shows got canceled. Then afterwards, everybody's doing their own thing. But we played at the Gorge recently, and Maren Morris, my friend, she said that we were making a new record, so we will be doing that.
you guys are gonna make a new record.
Yeah, we are. We talked about that. She brought it up on stage. This time it wasn't me that let the cat out of the bag, so I was like, good job not sharing too much, Shires. Because I've done that before with that group, and it was spoke too soon. And
Well, that's all your friends, right? So is it like if you do mess up, it's all love, right?
Oh,
or
yeah.
Is it like
It's all love. No,
Okay.
it's all love. It's all love. We used to say we got married first, then learned each other, and now we know each other really well, and it's like perfect. It's less nerve-wracking.
Do you have songs that you've written specifically for that project?
I do. Our plan is to continue sharing our songs with each other and, find a date to start recording, and may the best song win again. was how we did it last time.
How do you then, okay, so hold on. So obviously 4 of y'all incredible artists on your own coming together to do the Highwomen. When you bring in a song to hopefully get them to pick up, like how do you balance keeping songs that you love for your own sort of record and how knowing that you sort of need to bring sort of the best to that group of?
To me, in my mind, I'm a little bit. It's easier for me to compartmentalize the two things. For my own work, it's while the Highwomen was my idea, yes, but it's the subject matter of that is more about. I say that we'll always be playing and singing as long as there's a reason, and there are reasons still for that band to go on, and that's for to keep widening the path for all people, women, and everybody else in country music to tell stories and talk about everything from just the way that we would like to see the world different, basically. And then in our own personal stuff, yeah, we could do that, but to me, it feels easier to do in a group scenario, sing about things that are, the injustices of the world or the ways that not everybody's equal. In a group, it feels more comfortable for me and more safe to do, to make it feel more like a gang. In solo, I've done a couple of things like that, and it's hard because you have, it's just you singing that song about abortion. There's you singing that by yourself up on stage, and I just like that it feels safer to do with other folks on stage that feel the same way as you do. And then with my own music too, I don't want to be singing all those songs all the time. And I want to sing songs and make them up and make the world change. I don't want to be living these songs and seeing how slow it is every day. That'd get me down in a bog. So I have other things I want to explore, either via my own self and stories or the stories that other people tell me within their, life's ups and downs, woes, and whatever. I don't really write joyful songs, so it'd just be dirges. Amanda Shires and her dirges.
There's some, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, dirge, but, I guess, as I'm thinking about it, like Neil Young's Southern Man is kind of a dirge, but it also is like,
oh, yeah.
song fucking gets me going, at the same time.
Exactly.
So
Yeah,
a dirge
exactly.
can be, it's not like, it can be both a dirge and sort of, not necessarily down. Because I wouldn't classify records as downers or like anything that sort of makes me
They're
feel
not,
bummed out or. Yeah.
That's true. They aren't that. It's you're right.
Do you feel like you're still exploring the same themes as Take It Like a Man? Is that are there
Some of them I do. I do still think there's more to say about the nature of being a person that's multidimensional, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, I just do my best and we'll see what happens.
You certainly do contain multitudes, and my own galaxy, that stuff you talk about, it's like the juxtaposition of, it's like I both, am doing the dishes and doing the grocery list and cooking up dinner and blah, 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 blah. But also it's like, there's a
whole nother me
whole
here
other
too.
dimension of you as well. Beyond
exactly.
the domestic stuff that parenting, and marriage and family brings. And
exactly.
That I can't say I experienced life the exact same way as you, obviously, but as a married person with kids, that does resonate with me. Like that feeling of like, man, I am like, fuck, I am two people existing at once, and how do I satiate both things and honor both things? That's a tough, it is
tough true
thing to figure out. It's a tough balance to figure out.
And then you do go to Vegas and you're like, damn, I miss my kid.
Yeah.
How am I supposed to have any fun?
That's always the damn catch-22. You can't wait to get away. You plan it, you get away, and you just pine for your kids.
It's
really
true.
sad. Well, cool. Thank you for chatting.
No, thank you.
Thanks to Amanda Shires for the music and for talking to us on Broken Record. You can hear our favorite songs from Amanda, as well as her latest album, Take It Like a Man, and her album with Bobbie Nelson called Loving You on a playlist at brokenrecordpodcast.com. You can follow us on Twitter at Broken Record. Broken Record is produced with help from Leah Rose, Jason Gambrell, Eric Sandler, Nisha Vincut, and Sophie Crane. Our podcast is engineered by Echo Mountain. Broken Record is a production of Pushkin Industries. And if you like the show, please remember to share, rate, and review us on your podcast app. Our theme music's by Kenny Beats. I'm Justin Richmond.